Hello, and welcome to the next installment of Ukulele Madness, or some title that's still pending as I figure it out. So the last couple videos you saw how to tune your ukulele so that you can actually play it. Again, this is a technique I typically like to do for your students, just because when we're in building, it's so much easier to have it tuned and ready. That's a skill I sort of build in later as we get better in using the instrument after we figure out, the fretboard and we figure out the strings and the tuning pegs and everything else. However, we do it with what we can. And then the other technique would be playing that C chord. So again, it was nice because if you need a reminder on the C chord, when we played it, what we did was we focused on the ring finger, which was a little odd because you might say, hey, well, I can just do the same thing with a pointer finger and get my C chord as well. Here, let me tilt you down a little bit. However, this is a technique that's important to use your ring finger for it, because as you start to play other chords, it will be something that your hand is already in position for, and very easy to pivot. And you're going to see that today, actually, when I show you your next chord. So again, we have kind of reviewed how to tune your ukulele, how to play a C chord, and now we're going to go into a minor chord, which is called A minor. Now, the reason I like to do these chords to start, they don't really work together right now until you add a third chord to them. But the reason I like to do them is because I call them one-finger chords. So I usually like to build up using one-finger chords, then two-finger chords, three-finger chords, and you get real crazy. You can use all four across the fretboard of your ukulele. So again, we have our C major, and I'm brushing the crumbs off. Just brushing those crumbs off to give you a nice, beautiful sound, nice ring. I'm in tune. I didn't tune, but I should have tuned today. So now what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to then take my hand and let me turn a little bit. You'll notice beautiful ring on the third fret of my A string, because if you remember, good children eat apples. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to pop my middle finger, and let me turn better, to the second fret of the G string here. So if you notice, it's going to change what we're doing, but I'm not going pointer to pointer to pointer. I'm not using my pointer just to pivot around here. I'm trying to use what's the most convenient for my hand. So for example, C major, sounds happy. And then I'm going to take my middle finger and do that second fret there and put it on the G string, and we get this. And you notice it gets a little darker. And usually when I try to explain minor to anybody, major or minor, especially younger students, I think minor has a darker sound to it, more gloomy type sound. And major has a happier sound as you're listening. And you can pivot back and forth. And the idea this week is you want to get used to just strumming gently, brushing those crumbs away, down strums, because I'm pushing down to the ground, getting those crumbs off my lap, and then just strumming. So I know I'm making that look simple, because for some of us, we're going to be like this the first time. And trying to pivot back and forth. It is not easy right away. So again, take your time with it. When you're strumming, just give it nice, easy strums. Nice slow tempo, and switch. And then that gives you a nice little feel there as you're going back from A minor and C. Okay. The only problem you start to run in as you're trying to build and learn more songs and more repertoire is that there's not a lot of songs that just pivot between A minor and C. Typically, you need at least a third chord to mix in there. If you did. So you'll notice I jumped to a three-finger chord here we don't want to get into. But if you recognize the song, I was scared of dentists and the dark. And you get the idea as we go through it. A little riptide there. And I definitely was singing off key there, so I apologize for that. But anyways, as you go through, once we add in that G chord, you have literally an entire song, and then a whole lot of songs as well included with that. So we'll get to that in our future lessons, playing that third chord. But for today, work on those pivoting between those two chords, your C major and your A minor. Okay? C major, A minor. All right, and that's it for today. This is a little simple one just to get you playing different chords to mix and match as you kind of go through the pattern there. Have a great day.